Hi, I'm Brad from Charleston Hardware. Today we're going to talk about shutter hardware, specifically hinges, shutter dogs, hooks, and their uses. There's two pieces for hanging a shutter. The bracket that goes on the wall, on the window frame, is called a pintle, and the hinge is called a strap. The strap mounts on the back of the shutter. When the shutter is closed, you see the strap. When the shutter is open, you don't see it. It's mounted on the back of the shutter. If the shutter is here, this would be in the open position with the shutter mounted here. In a closed position, it rotates around, and now the shutter is against the window, and now you see the hinge. Hinges are lift-off hinges, so they're easy to remove the shutters. This is an L hinge. L hinge is used whenever the strap would be too wide to mount on the shutter. This is more narrow. It mounts on the corner of the shutter, making the shutter reinforced in the corner. If you have old shutters, this is probably a good way to go. Now for the pintle. Pintle mounts flush on the window frame. You'll notice that there's a distance here that varies. This one projects out further than this one, projects out further than this one. That's called the offset. Offset is measured from the back of the plate to the center of the hinge pin. There are two kinds of pintles. This is a plate mount pintle. It has 3 screws. It's normally used on wood siding, wood frames. This is a lag pintle. It's normally used in masonry applications, stone, brick, stucco. To install the lag, one hole is drilled, a lead anchor is inserted, and then this is screwed into the lead anchor. Alternatively, this can be installed by drilling a hole, filling the hole with epoxy, and then sliding it in and letting the epoxy set. This hinge is completely flat. There's no bend in it. That would be a 0 offset hinge. The pintle only projects out a 1/2 inch, so that would be a 1/2 inch offset pintle. So this is the smallest offset available. It's used whenever the frame around the window is flush with the siding of the house. This hinge has a 1 3/4 inch offset. It's used when there's thick molding around the window that's proud of the siding. To measure the offset, measure from the face of the window frame to the window. Divide that in 2, and that will give you the correct offset. So half the distance from the face of the frame to the window gives the offset of the hinge and of the pintle. They should match. If your shutter is going to remain open and is not a working shutter, I would choose a smaller offset so the shutter would fit more closely to the house. A surface bolt is used to keep the shutters closed. The way it works, from the inside, you open the window, you pull the shutters to, and you slide the surface bolt to hold the shutters together. When the shutters are open, this is mounted on the front side of the shutter and is visible. This one is cast iron reproduction of one from the 1860s. This is another style surface bolt. It's a barrel bolt. And a nice feature about this is that it locks into place. This particular one's made of stainless steel and is really excellent for the coast. Another kind of shutter is a Bahama or Bermuda shutter. It's mounted at the top of the window. There's 2 ways to mount the Bermuda shutter. One is with a continuous hinge at the top. A continuous hinge is not easily removed. Alternative method is this slide-off, lift-off hinge. The top bracket is mounted on the window frame. This lower piece is mounted on the shutter. There's a cotter pin to release it, and this slides apart allowing the shutter to be easily removed. This is a 15-inch shutter hook. Instead of telescopic aluminum rods, we use this 15-inch hook to hold the Bermuda shutter open. Depending on where you mount it, you can hold it open in any position. These are shutter dogs. They're used to hold the window open. They're mounted on the bottom edge of the shutter towards the corner. You'll notice that the bottom half of these dogs are longer than the top half. This allows them to hang straight all the time through gravity. When it's time to close the shutter, this is rotated, allowing the shutter to close. All of these are copies of original pieces from Charleston's old homes. These are all plate mount on the board. They're generally used for wood siding. This is a lag mount. Similar to the pintle, it's mounted the same way. It's also used for masonry applications. This particular one is rat tail. Another way to hold the shutter open in a masonry application is with a shutter arm. This is in the open position. The bottom of the arm fits into a keeper on the windowsill. The bracket mounts on the face of the shutter. Again, this is the open position. When it's time to close the shutter, the arm is released from the keeper and the shutter swings this way to close. On the back of the shutter there's a small clip to hold the arm next to the shutter. If you want to hold the shutters open without a shutter dog visible, this is a handy way to do it. This is called a bullet catch. The bullet fits against the house on the window frame. This little clip fits on the back of the shutter. The shutter closes into the clip like this. It's a very secure way to hold your shutter open. To learn more about shutter hardware, its installation, and how to determine an offset, visit our website, charlestonhardware.com. Thank you for watching.